y'all, welcome to the Notable in Black and Tech podcast. B. Donna Harris here, founder of NotableBIT, amplifying Black excellence in tech.
Major Phillips, your corporate IT vet. Welcome to the show.
I'm Mr. Randall Phillips, robotics tech and all-around veteran tech and network person. Hey, welcome to the show, guys.
All right.
Guys, so
Yeah.
Claude versus ChatGPT. Which one you like?
And the truth, I hear a lot of people talking about Claude. I haven't really used Claude, and one of the reasons I haven't used Claude because I use Warp. I don't know if y'all know about Warp. Yeah, Warp. Yeah. Warp is a kind of a competitor to Claude. I do use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a part of my everyday workflow. I use it to bang out ideas and things like that. I use it to help me come up with copy and stuff like that. Warp is I use that for my to help me with my coding and things like that. It's pretty good. If you don't know what it is, you need to go check it out. It's a terminal with ID. You ain't got to pay for it. It's they got a $20 a month plan just like everybody else. Now everybody else that start off $20 a month plan. And you get like 1,500 tokens a month. And so, that depending on your usage, 1,500 tokens may or may not do you. So, how it go. They put a cap on it. I mean, they got the cap, and then you can pay for extra tokens as you need them. And I think pretty much all of them do that. And it seemed like these things are starting to get more and more expensive. Things are changing. Yeah. Also, in the way you pay for the tokens, I think it depending on which agent you use, because different agents, the cost of each agent is a different cost. But yeah, that's my answer. I like Warp over Claude. Yeah.
Yeah. Randall, you using any kind of AI in your day-to-day?
Not yet. One of my mentors used ChatGPT for most of his documents that we're doing legally for our project. I haven't used any of the any of the AI agents as of yet. I've been kind of figuring out. I'm that person who kind of waits back and wait for like version 2 and version 3, and then jump in there because everybody's doing the war thing and figure out who's better than the other one. And you mentioned Warp. That sounds like an operating system to me. I remember when I used to use Warp OS.
Man,
Okay.
look, we way past version 2 or 3, Randall. You
on
still
5. You on ChatGPT 5. 5 point, what is it? 5.2.
What you waiting on?
We on 5.
Hey, listen, when I jump in, I'm gonna jump in. Watch.
Yeah.
What about you, Major?
Man, so your boy uses a combination of all of them, right? So
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT a lot, and it's really good to have it up when you're in a meeting. Maybe you hear a term or something that you don't know what it is. You can boom, hit it real quick, get you an answer of what that is, so you can be in the conversations and have an understanding. You have to stop and say, hey, what does that mean? You can kind of get that understanding real quick. And I tell you, the thing that really does help me is because we're at my company, we're a Microsoft house, so I use a lot of Copilot because it's already embedded. And
Copilot's good.
Copilot helped me on them emails, because have you ever got an email? You wasn't on the original. It's about a week long, 15 people done replied to it, and it's just long.
And
you got to try to be like, okay, what y'all want? Man, I go on that Copilot and I say summarize.
Yeah.
It'll tell me exactly what we're doing, and then it'll call out, Major, this is your action item. Man, love it, bro. Love it. I can run through emails quick, quick.
I might have to jump into that because I have an Office license, and Copilot jumped up there all the time. And speaking about email, there's a summary button on my email. I haven't used it yet, but I'm gonna have to start using it now.
Yeah.
Man,
Nobody
Randall,
don't want to start at
man,
the bottom and go up. Man, that's terrible. Go ahead.
come on. Okay, Randall, I'm through with you, man, because I said veteran tech, veteran. He said veteran tech, and I ain't touched none of the agents yet.
You got to get over. You got to get on the LLMs, man.
I understand. I get it. But man, Copilot also good at the VS Code because it becomes embedded in
Yeah.
VS Code, and Copilot is good with code completion, is context awareness, repo aware, and all of that. Man, because the cool thing about these agents, if you get onboarded into a new company or working on a project, not a greenfield project, but an existing project or a legacy project that you don't know nothing about, and I get on there and say, hey, Copilot, look at this repo and summarize this code. Give me all the workflows and document what this code does and all different functions, and it'll
Yes.
give me a document of everything about the code. So now I'm not starting off from a fresh place, trying to go through and read the code myself. So if like say somebody, hey, I need to add this feature to here. Now I got so now I can even say, hey, look, I'm trying to add this new feature. Where do I need to add this, or what touch points need to be accessed in order for me to do this? Now Copilot does all that for me, and so now I don't have to spend time trying to figure out the code, trying to go trying to trace references and all this stuff. It give me everything I need, and I can just go in and do what I need to do.
I tell you one thing that I actually did. So we need to migrate a whole bunch of processes. Let's just call them processes. And so we got a whole bunch of reports. Let's call it 1,000 Power BI Tableau reports that we need to migrate. Well, I need to know what are the dependencies, database wise, table wise, for all of these reports.
Yeah.
What we did was, we went through and scripted the whole database to a text file, right? Whatever. So it scripted the whole thing, all the views, all the procedures, all the tables, all that stuff, right? We took that, threw that in the LLM and said, give me a dependency map for everything in this script. So tell me all the tables that I need, all the views that I need, all of everything. And it blasted it out in a very neat format, dude. You know how long that would have took me back in our old days?
Man, that's a
Took me
day.
forever to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they did it. Oof, I
It
love
is
them.
not.
I love them.
It is not like you ain't ever done it, because we actually had to do stuff like that back in the day.
And I think that's the advantage that we gonna have as the transition generation, because it's kind of like, so let's take it out of AI. It's kind of like my uncles used to work on all the cars and stuff and vehicles. Now they can pretty much, they know the basics of how a car runs.
Yeah.
So now they able to look at this new stuff and say, well, you still got to have this. It's got to be a transmission, and you got to have a motor. You got, even though we got Tesla and stuff like that. I get that. But for us as OG coders, we know the foundation, like, bro, because me and you had a conversation offline. We were like, they finna get rid of all of the low level engineers with AI. And we was like, that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Well, how you gonna get a senior engineer if you never have a junior?
Exactly.
Right.
You're right. So look, I'm enjoying this conversation and where it's going, but we got a guest waiting in the wing, and
We do.
yeah, and so look, and I
Yeah,
see
we
him.
do.
I've been seeing him nodding his head, and I think he kind of want to get in on this conversation himself. He probably got a lot to say about what we're talking about, and I know we want to get into who he is. But we got this guy JC Smiley, that's waiting in the wing. He's the founder of the Tech Scene Media in Memphis, Tennessee. He's a community builder since 2018, and so he saw a need. And he's meeting that need, and that need was tech events and meetups so scattered across the city and scattered about. And he put together a platform to bring those things together, to bring more exposure to some of the things that had less exposure, and to bring access to the people that needed to have access to it. And I think that's a great thing. JC, you may or may not know this, but Randall's still in Memphis. I'm a Memphis native, but I'm living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Major is a Memphis native, but he's living in Dallas, Texas. So look, yeah, we all part of Memphis, man. I'm gonna say it like that.
Missing my
So let's welcome to the pod, JC. Hey, JC, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for bringing me on to the podcast.
Okay. So look, you know, I gave this introduction about who you are and what you're doing, but before we dive into what you're doing in the Memphis tech scene, look, I saw you nodding your head over there. So do you have some input? Did you want to get into this conversation of what we've been talking about? Is that something you have? Is there something that was kind of itching that you had to say that you want to talk about?
I don't really have much to add, man. I agree with a lot of things you all are saying, and
Okay.
I just sort of nod my head as in yes, I've experienced it or believe sort of similar.
Okay, gotcha.
What you using though?
Yeah.
You team ChatGPT, you team Claude, or you just you still on the Google?
I think I'm still sort of experiment with all of them. Just while using texting media, I just how can I explore how to use the different AI platforms in a way that works for me. That's how I learn some bits. I gotta use it. So far for me, I use a lot of ChatGPT in trying to help me do better storytelling. Like I know growing up, I wasn't a great writer. No, just could not spell anything correct, couldn't do all the English stuff, but ChatGPT helps me out in the area. I use Claude to sort of help me with building out components, building out the web platform, I'm building out different software when I'm on freelancing. And I use Gemini every day for answering questions or whatnot. So just I don't know how to spell this, I don't know how to do this or whatnot. So I should bounce around different platforms in the way that works best for me.
See,
That's what's
okay,
up.
you had something to say.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna piggyback off of something you said. I have a homegirl that's an editor, and she didn't know anything about the AIs and everything like that. And she was just like you. She said, Major, I get to a point where I'm stuck. I don't know where to go next with the next topic. I said, man, let me show you this. And I pulled up, ChatGPT and just put in some stuff and say, gave it a couple of bullet points and say, hey, give me some new, 2-3 sentences to start out a new chapter of a book or whatever.
Yeah.
And it gave her, she read through it and it was like, okay, I'm going with that. I love it because the AI you don't use it as a copy paste. I use it as a springboard to get to the next if you stuck. So man, I like that you pulled that out, JC. Is it JC? That's what you call it? Is that what you go by? JC?
Yes, yeah, just
JC,
love it,
okay.
love it.
Man, but you know what's cool about it though? What the cool thing about it is the more you use it, it begins to take notice and understand your language and how you put things together. That's if you have a paid account. And so what happens is now it's over to begin to sound more like what you would say and what you would write because it has a lot of context to pull from. And that's the cool thing about it. So in a sense, you're not in a sense it's not like, well, this AI is writing for me. No, it's putting words together that you would say in a way that others can understand, or it's put it together in a format for a presentation.
There you
if
go.
you will, whether it's a media presentation, a book presentation, a website presentation, or something like that.
Well, if I could jump in, I think one of the things for me it does well is helps me or others find their voice. When you're a one-man show or you don't work with a huge team, especially in writing or creating content, you may not know certain things. So you can ask a lot of questions, but also you can say, hey, out of all this content I created, what's my voice? And it could bring out, hey, you actually saying this is your tone. This is the topic that you love writing about, talking about, or love building on. This is what this is. And then you can amplify that. So it helps you sort of find yourself if you ask enough questions, if you dive deep enough into it.
Exactly. True. Randy, you quiet over there.
Yeah, I find that there's probably some small AI bits and other things that I use, like, email and text, because it already pre-prompts me for words that my typing pattern, how I speak when I type or when I
Yeah,
text. So I know there's some AI, components in the background. They've been back there for a while that we just didn't want to call them AI at the moment, but they were
yeah,
already there. We just
yeah,
don't realize this creeping up on us, and things like that, and using the spell check and the grammar checks. Yeah, it follows your pattern because you speak a certain way and you text a certain way.
yeah. Right. And so JC, so you talked about finding your voice and how it helps to find your voice. So let's talk about that as it pertains to JC in the Memphis tech scene. What is your voice in Memphis tech scene? Where have you found your voice to be? Can you articulate that for us?
Okay. I'm gonna give an answer. And if it's not sort of what you're looking for, just let me know. I think my voice has always been, especially coming out to the Memphis Tech community, how can I help others find where they fit in, where they belong? How can you, uh, outside of being a service to the community, how can you be in support of others? So that voice in everything that I write and create has always been, if I'm doing some digital storytelling, if I'm trying to showcase, make visible a emerging community, am I showing people how they can plug into it, how can they belong to it and whatnot? Am I showing them how to get to it? An example would be, I'm a strong believer in showing a lot of images of
Hmm.
a community. I believe that's the biggest barrier. People say, well, I don't know if I belong there. Well, if you see some images, you can see there's somebody who looks just like me there. If you read some
Yes.
content about that culture, you know what? I do fit in. I do think like them. They may not look like me, but we have the same thought process.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing, I'm trying to show my voice is in the sense of how can I help people see they belong here, or that Memphis may have a lot of different tribes, a lot of different areas, but we all have one voice. We all moving in the same direction together. That's the voice that I try to share whenever I'm creating content or whatnot for the Memphis tech community.
Okay.
Okay. JC, what are you doing with the youth? Are you doing anything with the kids?
Not as much as I would like to. One of right now the main goal is sort of, as I see different communities doing things with the youth, I try to promote that a little bit more. So, like example, BDPA Memphis, um, they do right now. They're doing a program called Pixel Pioneer, to where they're taking youth and showing them how to do game development at their level. And I try to
Okay.
promote their event, help them get that going. When trying to work with community colleges whenever they have events for kids. So I mean, don't work directly, but I try to support them as much as possible. How do I
Okay.
how do I bring in local experts to help out in these events and expose technology to youth?
Okay.
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 Okay, so I just want to, Major. I know you want to say something else, but I want to pick this, just put this in there. I know you say you don't help them directly, but the exposure and helping support them and to put it out there more, that's all that helps. I'm sure that's great. That's great work. And that's a great help.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Only thing I was going to add to that is that JC, you need to really hook up with Randall. He's a robotics coach,
Yeah.
so he works with youth all the time. Teaching coding and all about. He's involved in a lot of national Lego robotics events. I don't know if you've messed around with the robots. I don't want to belittle the robots. They're small, but I don't know if you've seen our last podcast. They can go through a wall. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's nothing to play with.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, have you worked with any of the local tech companies? Like, here's one that's not big, but they're big enough. CodeCrew. Have you worked with CodeCrew? Have heard of CodeCrew in Memphis?
Yes, sir, I have. I was just at the location a couple weeks ago. They have a new cohort developed that they are graduated soon. And I went to help them do practice interviewing. So yes, I
Okay.
work with and
Yeah,
talk
I
to
saw I
Code
saw
Crew
they
a
were
good
looking
bit.
for people to help interviews. I saw that.
Oh,
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
awesome.
need to get with me on that. I really would love to show some people what people are looking for in interviews. Man, because I do a lot of interviews myself, and I'm like, man, come on, guys. We got to answer these questions a little bit more better with more confidence.
Yeah, yeah,
But the
yeah.
the CodeCrew
It was.
graduate that I
No, go
Say it
ahead,
again.
JC.
Go ahead, JC.
the CodeCrew graduate that I interviewed, he did fantastic, and you could tell that CodeCrew was working with the students and practicing doing the star format, practicing
Okay.
knowing your technology, not rambling, but also not going too deep. Playing to your audience. If it's a recruiter, you say it one way. If it's a tech developer, you say it another way. Talk about your projects. I mean, he did such a fantastic job, and you can tell that CodeCrew really worked hard with the graduates, and I saw that how they held multiple interview groups. So not just one. When you get one day of practice, they held weeks of practicing interviews, getting
Okay.
them ready for the market. So
Nice,
CodeCrew is a
nice,
fantastic Memphis organization.
nice, nice, nice. It's amazing. I love seeing how the Memphis tech scene has grown over the years. Well, all of us got our start professionally in the Memphis tech scene, and I think that y'all probably can agree that when we started, the tech scene in Memphis is nowhere near the same. When we started, it's not at all what it is today.
No.
Things are really scattered. You pretty much were, and you kind of were almost on your own.
You were.
Trying to figure things out. There was no interview help. There were no meetups and groups and organizations that you could join and find like-minded people. You were trying to it was a lot of trial and error trying to figure out this stuff on your own. I mean, we survived it back then. Only the strong survive. Because I saw a lot of people that started out in tech who ended up doing something else because there was, I'm not gonna say they didn't have the stamina, the support system wasn't there. And so, and
It
those of us
wasn't.
that go ahead, Randall.
It wasn't fully there. You had to find the right I don't know what word to use. You had to, I'll say avenue. You had to find the correct avenue to get in there, and I found my buddy and me. We found an avenue through. I don't know if you remember the bulletin board systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a big bulletin board community that was at what we call it Southwest now. It was called State Tech when we was in Memphis. So they would use that big auditorium and have a grand meeting, and then some of those group had subgroups, and I had started joining those subgroups beside the main group, and they would bring in a manufacturer once a week to do a giveaway and talk about their product, whether it was hardware or software. I remember when they brought WordPerfect here. I said, how did they swing and get WordPerfect at our
Well,
little meeting?
But the thing was, you had to be in the know if you weren't in the know. Was bringing back to tech scene media. So for someone who does not know who tech scene media is or interested in finding out what they are, walk us through who tech scene media is and what tech scene media does.
Gotcha. So Texting Media is a media startup here in Memphis, and the idea behind it is to be a community-powered platform to help people learn about tech opportunities here in Memphis. When I say tech opportunities, that's events, mainly events and communities. So let me walk you through two different scenarios. So I'm a strong believer in access and making tech easier to access and navigate. We have two platforms for that. We have the newsletter, which is a weekly newsletter where you can sign up and you will get all of the tech events that I can find out about in Memphis. So it's normally average around 10 events or more a week. Now for me, a few years ago, this was wild. I used to find one tech event a week. But now that I'm looking harder, there's actually 10 of them. There's more and more tech events going on. So make sure that you have access to these. And also and navigate. Once you know about them, you can find out what days they're on, the times and whatnot. So make sure that that these tech events are visible and that you can get to them. Now, the other side is sort of the belonging or whatnot, and I do that through data storytelling. I try to blog and to create posts about the events and the communities here in Memphis. And that's a big part of Tech Scene Media is you don't know if you belong here if you don't know about it or you can't, like I said, mention earlier, images and find out the culture, find out the people. An example would be we got one tech professional uh, out here, or just she's a CodeCrew graduate. And say you read about her in one of my articles that she gave a tech talk. Okay, cool. Then you find out that she went to a hackathon and won the hackathon. She's brand new in tech, but she won. Okay, now you know more. So if you are like her, you're similar to her, you look like her, you know, the pimps you up, images or whatnot. Now you say, well, I want to go where the community that she's in, but you may not know that tech was accessible to you. So that data storytelling, talking about the great things that people are doing here in Memphis, the tech professionals, all the events, showcasing this. That's what Tech Scene Media all about. Just sort of the newsletter, the website platforms where you can also go and look at tech events. I am aware that some people don't want another newsletter in the inbox. Also, they may not have time to look at it. So, and the biggest part, if you like me, who have a family, I don't want to know about an event 2 days before it happened. I need to, you know, make arrangements for my kids or do ABC. So
Right.
having a website to where you can at any time go and look at events and see what's coming up, that's where, you know, you can gain more powers, more, you can navigate better. And so texting me is all about bringing visibility to tech events. One thing that I've learned that tech organizers, they're very passionate. They're very passionate about the tech events. They go, they find speakers, they find sponsors, they get find location,
Mm-hmm.
but they may not have that extra energy or the expertise in sort of making the event visible to everybody. So the only people who get to know about it, just their friends. So it's silo. Just 10 people know about this great event. Well,
Right.
I'm trying to solve that problem. How can I make sure that everybody have this? And that's what Tech Scene Media is about, showcasing what's going on in Memphis, giving everybody access to these events.
Okay.
I hope they answer the question.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
good.
It did.
Yeah, that
It
sounds
did.
good. I know what you mean about trying to get the word out. When I sponsored a robotic scrimmage game, uh, my biggest asset was a website and using the church as an advertiser because I had the event at the church. So if it wasn't for the church and the website with the community connected to it, I wouldn't have had the event, because I had to have teams sign up and be there and then invite the community and tell the community what the rules were for bringing their children. And, tell them this is not a daycare. Don't do a drop off and roll. You got to come with your child. We're not supervising your children. And, but lo and behold, you always have that one that does against the rules. And then the child wants to not tell the truth. I'm going to say it like that, at trying to get us in trouble when we're trying to tell them, okay, you had it backwards.
So you seem to be a young man. How you get started in that? Did you just pick it up? Did you just Google something? You just how did you start? How you get proficient in coding?
Um, I got a very short mind frame, just not mind frame, short memory. And that always my biggest problem going on. I couldn't remember things, couldn't remember homework, to study for tests. And at some point, my parents sort of helped me solve that problem. They gave me my first phone. And my mother gave it to me and said, here's a calendar on it. Use this calendar. Here are notes on it. And for me, it changed a lot. I no longer had to keep up with everything in my head and forget. I could put it in my calendar. I could put it in my notes. And for me, that changed things. So I became interested in technology and said, okay, this can solve a personal problem. As in, I'm not good in this one area. This can help me out. So when I finally graduated, I attended University of Mississippi in a MIS degree, that's Management Information System. And I did decent in school, but there's a few things that I know now that I did not do well then. I had a young family in college. I was working 2 jobs. My goal was just graduate.
Okay.
I didn't know about internships or programs, hackathons, anything. I didn't, as Mr. Randall pointed out, that I didn't feel an avenue into tech. And nobody in my family was in tech, so I didn't know much. So when I graduated, I couldn't find a job. I had nothing but a degree. And everybody tell you, get a degree, you find a job. Well, a degree did not help me find a job. So for the next 20 years, I did everything but tech. I done regulatory law enforcement. I done retail. I done serving tables. I done unloading trucks. I done everything for 20 years. About maybe 6, 7 years ago, I sort of got tired of working 2 jobs and still being broke. That got old real quick.
Yep.
So I decided to come back into tech. This time I said, I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to learn tech on my own. I'm 20 years later, I'm still paying for my degree. I'm not going to do it twice. So at this time, I went to, that's why I started learning JavaScript. Figure out that front-end technology is more accessible to learn. I just need a keyboard. I got a web browser. I could see what I'm building, and I enjoyed it. Also, I wanted to build products that similar to that calendar. When I first got my phone and back in high school, whatnot, it can build stuff that helps me out. So what I did was I started attending community events. I started learning on my own. I started trying to find mentors to help me. I started building apps to practice. So when one practice app was an app for my daughter. My daughter had a learning disability, so she was not doing good in school. So I built her my own personal sort of test practice app that's based on how she learned. And in that 1 year she was in school, she went from D's to A's using that app. That was based on how she learned, how she does things best. I working as a regulatory law enforcement officer, and I saw there's some gaps in the software or tools that we had to do our job. So I built my own tools to help me do my job and catching bad guys and whatnot in that particular area of regulatory law enforcement. All these things I did through JavaScript program using front-end technologies and whatnot. And also just attending community events and learning from others. So that was my way of learning technology to this point right here.
Okay. You rich?
I am not.
Why not? You done built software that for learning. Why you ain't selling that? There's some other children that need help, man. Why you ain't selling that? You gonna put your app on the App Store?
My focus has always just been, I guess on the best way to say it is sort of head to the ground. I'm trying to grind right now. When I was building apps, they'll help my daughter out. As a single father, and I raised my daughter by myself. My mind frame was, let me build something to help her out because I can't figure out her homework. The new math, I couldn't figure out all this new stuff. I need something to help.
Man, that new math.
Me building apps for my job. Okay, I can't afford to get fired, so I need apps I need something to help me do my job better. You're not gonna give me the tools. I build it myself.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of software. I think that's one of the things I love about software because you can solve real problems. But to Major's point, he talked about being a why you ain't rich, being a millionaire, because most of the apps or the inventions that do well, they were born out of necessity. The app for your daughter was born out of necessity, and so now, but I think, but you got your footing. You got your footing in tech enough, and even in the community that you're bringing things together. That, hey, you know what? Let me visit this app that I built for my daughter, and let me figure out a way to see who else needs this, because those type of tools, it helped you. It helped your daughter. Your daughter went from D's to A's in a year. She went from D's to A's. Can you imagine how many other parents out there, like, they're scratching their head trying to figure out, what can I do? I know my child is smarter than this, but I don't.
Right.
And they're working, and sometimes some of those parents are working 2 jobs, and so they're stressed out from the work. They're so stressed out from work, and they don't know how. But then hey, here's this app. So hey, just a thought. Coming on this podcast, this could have been the turning point of your life. This could have turned you from a community organizer to a millionaire community organizer.
You're right. You're right.
And it's still probably not too late to develop that app. So you need to
Yeah.
develop that in the background.
You need to develop that because we need an app called New Math because I don't understand much.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about the new math. The computers don't follow the old math.
Right.
Right. Right. So let me ask you this, JC. So you talked about who the tech scene media is and what it does. Can you tell me what kind of trends you have seen um as far as helping those organizations or those events grow their platforms or grow their meetups or increase their turnout? Or what have you seen in that respect?
I think since starting tech scene media and helping people to start growing, what I've seen is that it does feel like the leadership teams for different communities, smaller communities within Memphis is growing. No longer it's like one or two people, it's 4 or 5 people. Also, they're doing a lot more marketing. So used to be you only heard about the event through the grapevine. Now people are using LinkedIn and other places to showcase their event. They're making flyers and images. And I think that's a big part from AI. Whereas used to be I'm not good enough to make an image. Now you can get good enough with AI to make a flyer that shows what this event about and whatnot. Or once again, I don't know how to describe the event besides I'm teaching you the concept. Now AI can help you write a better description for that and share it. So I'm seeing a lot more of this. Also,
Mhm.
where it used to be, I may be in several different smaller communities. Now I'm finally starting to see organizers post their event in all these communities instead of just one. So instead of being siloed, so you just in a Java community and you only post about upcoming Java events that you're hosting in that Java community. Well, that maybe somebody else who's a front-end developer. He is in the UI community, but he wants to be full stack. He wants to know about Java, but he never heard of it. So when you start sharing your events in other communities, you give people the opportunity to learn something new, to be exposed to something else. So I'm starting to see that trend of people finally sharing among across the communities and whatnot and working together. Also, they're working a lot more frequently. Have y'all heard of Memphis Tech Foundation? Memphis Technology Foundation here in Memphis.
The Memphis Techno- I'm not sure. I'm aware of the Memphis Technology Foundation. Have you guys heard
No,
of it?
Okay.
I probably heard it in the wind. I haven't really had to deal with it or that, it's like we were saying, it's one of those communities that's under the wire just about, and it comes up in radar and comes out, so it's like one of those organizations.
Right. I do agree, and to me, that's a lot of Memphis. We have strong organization. They just sort of under the radar a lot. With Memphis Technology Foundation, they're a nonprofit group that supports a lot of the other smaller tech communities.
Mm.
And to me, lately they've been instrumental in bringing all these communities under one umbrella and saying, okay, like example would be Meetup.com. You got to pay to post your events.
You do,
But
yeah.
now, and that was a barrier for a lot of smaller communities. They organize the event, they have a speaker, but they don't want to spend the money or have the extra money to pay for Meetup.com so that people can RSVP for the event. Well, now the technology foundation they just said, hey, come under us and we can help you create the event on Meetup.com. And this way, more people can, that way your events can now be made more visible and more accessible to other people. So I'm
Okay.
seeing that happen a lot now.
Okay. So are you partnering with the Memphis Technology Foundation? Are you guys working together on some of those things?
Yes, I am. They were actually one of the first early supporters of Tech Scene Media. When I said I've been without work for a good bit of time, and I
Mhm.
didn't have the money to get a lot started. So I went to them and said, hey, I'm trying to do this for the community, and I need these certain assets and whatnot. And they
Okay.
immediately said, yes, we will get that for you. We'll take care of it. You go and build this, and we'll handle this part here for you. Don't even worry about it. And they made that happen real quick. They were instrumental in connecting me. Hey, JC, we know some events that you don't know about. Let us connect you to the right people. Because Memphis is all about relationships, all about almost who you know. So help me to find those communities and do more. So they've been instrumental there. So I work with them on a lot.
Okay, awesome. So let me ask you. So are you becoming, or do you want to become, like the go-to place for the tech scene in Memphis? Is that who you are, or is that who you try to become?
That's who I'm trying to become. I
Okay.
want Memphis to have one. I don't have to have a single platform, but I want there to be a platform to where you, if you don't know, are you trying to find out what's going on in Memphis Tech? You're trying to find opportunities to learn, to grow, to network. I want Tech Scene Media to be that place you go to, and it to help all the ways to help you do that, whether it could be a website or a newsletter.
Are you going into the universities? Because I'm a graduate of University of Memphis. So, are you going there? Going to some of those different, into the technology buildings on the campus, and at least putting something on the board or handing out flyers to the students to try to get more engagement? Or what is your strategy for more engagement?
That is one of this year's goal. I do have a poster flyer that I want to use. I have shared it with Lemoore and Owen College.
Yeah.
Trying to work with
Yeah,
them.
Lemoyne
Thank you.
on.
Trying to work with them to put the poster. They have a new technology center that's coming up, so I'm hoping the poster will go there. Also, I'm in talks with the FedEx Institute of Technology on Memphis at the University of Memphis, trying to
Yep.
Yeah.
trying to get the poster there.
The Fit
And I'm
Center.
there a
Yeah.
lot, so I talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Fit Center, I love. They do a lot of tech events.
Yeah, JC, I could probably help you in on the engineering wing. I know Dr. Ivy and Professor Cone in the engineering building on the campus of U of M, because I work with them closely on a lot of stuff, especially technology stuff. Because Dr. Ivy puts out a newsletter every week that I get for different things, so I can give you a connection right into there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Got, I know
Awesome.
one of the other goals were also like the Rose College and Christian Brothers.
Yeah.
Those places that I'm hoping to make connection with and sort of share the flyer because I know there are probably students who was like me when I was in college, just don't know. I want to go to school, I want to be in tech, but I don't know all the extra things you have to do, all the extra connections you need to make. So, and going to tech events is a great way to make connections. Going to tech events is a great way to get exposure to technology and concepts that they may not teach you in school.
Yeah, I
So
might
I
have a
would
connection at Christian Brothers too.
So I would piggyback off that to say yes, definitely going out of your comfort zone, out of your normal circle to make connections is a great way to get more involved in technology. I try to attend conferences. I know Donald, man, he goes to conferences all the time, man, and then he comes back with a whole Rolodex of new people that he done met. And me and him talk for hours about, man, so I met this person and they do this, and I met this person. I got a contact for this. So I agree with you. I agree with you. You
yeah.
you got to get
Yeah.
out your comfort zone and get out there.
You do, you do. You got to get. So, what do you tell them? So, I heard you talk about your 20-year hiatus. That's a long time to start out on something and then to get away from it, and then you finally get back to it. So, what do you say to that person that's in that spot? They they want to get in tech, but they don't know they don't know where to go. They're about to give up, and because it's been 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they're about to throw up their hands. What do you say to them, JC? What does JC say to them?
First, that I do understand that life is tough and that we all try and survive. Second, that it can still happen. The great thing about tech is that there is some fundamentals and foundation that you can get that you can learn to catch up with everybody else. That's not going to change much. But tech also changed it enough to where there's so many new things coming out that you can get ahead of the curve. I'm not gonna say quickly, but it's a possibility. You can keep up with everybody else. You don't have because there's somebody got 15 years experience. If something new come out, it don't reset. Now we all on the same page again, and you can be there with them. Also, I would say that if you haven't done this in a while, you behind this. The difference between 20, 30 years ago to where information may not been as accessible. Now it is. There are so many websites and tools and free programming classes and courses you can take to learn at your convenience. I know for myself, I said, Father, I didn't have time to go back to college or whatnot. There's resources now you can learn on your phone, like doing my daughter's soccer practice. She in soccer? Cool. I'm in my car reading and learning and doing whatnot. So there's to find whatever opportunity you can to learn at your convenience at your time. I remember being at work on my lunch, eating lunch on my computer, my work, my home computer, well, my personal computer at work. It's my lunch break. Let me do some studying, do some learning. Take every opportunity to learn and grow. Go to tech events. There's a lot of ways into tech. One of the best ways is by connecting with somebody. And if you have work history, you have some type of history, you have, I'm saying it better, you can relate to somebody. You can have that conversation. And they're not just at tech event talking all about tech. They're talking about basketball, football, talking about everything on the world and tech. So you can have those conversations. You can connect with somebody, and they can be your end. But right now is a great time to be in tech. We have so many resources to grow. So just come back, learn at your own pace, find out where you fit in, where you belong, find a community where you can plug in, and just do what you need to do.
Yeah. I find out when you go to some of these tech events and you start talking to people, you find out that you're not as dumb as you think you was. You go, oh man, you didn't know either? No, I didn't know that. Man, now you don't feel so bad.
Right, right, man. Talking about that, man. Like you could be in this industry 20 years, and like you said, JC, you said stuff almost reset because new technology come out. There are times you do feel dumb. You like, man, I know I'm smarter than this. I don't feel like that, And so, but the cool thing about it, like I said, the resources are there. The networking is the networking is a big part of it. Connecting with people, because when you have a network of people in your circle, you have a circle of you have a knowledge base that you can pull
Right.
from. If I say it that way, because what you don't know, somebody else in your circle knows. What you don't have access to, someone in your circle know how to have access to it, and so it gives you those springboards that you need. You can springboard into something based upon somebody just for the fact that you know somebody else. Go ahead. I saw you get the finger up.
Gotcha. I want to sort of piggyback after that. One of the things that I learned, I didn't know this when I first started trying to get into tech, is that tech is friendly. These people love to talk and teach. So just come to the tech events and just even being a bit vulnerable, like, hey, I don't know this. There is somebody who will say, oh, I can teach you. Let me give you a one-on-one. I know for me, I would not be where I'm at if I didn't go to tech events. And it's an example for that app for my daughter. I went to a few tech events and I brought it along with me. I was trying to learn how to do this to solve a problem. And people jumped in, hey, I see what you're doing. Okay, let me help you out with the UI. The user experience could be tweaking. This is why you got this bug in your code. Let me help you out. People are willing to jump in, help, and teach. Hey, I don't know how to make this to a web app so she can work on it on my phone whenever, in between soccer practice. Okay, cool. Let me help you host it. People are willing to jump in. Tech is friendly. So for anybody who haven't been taking a long time, you'd be surprised how many resources you would get if you just go to events, be a little vulnerable, let people know, hey, I'm new to this, or I'm trying to get back in. They would give you the resources.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's friendlier now than when it was when I started. It wasn't friendly. You had to bogart your way into tech when I got in tech. So I know it's friendlier now than it used to be.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. That especially when you start. I remember going to some of those Linux circles, those Linux forums. Some of those guys, if you don't know how to do something, they'll talk bad about you if you don't know how to do something. But yeah,
I don't
but
know
it's
how to do Linux now. What are you talking about? Hey man, can you SSH? Man, let me call somebody. Oh no. I
You,
can't
you need
SSH.
to learn. You need to learn a little bit. It's always good to know a little bit of Linux. It's always
I
good to know
hire some.
a few Linux commands, some
I
bash
hire somebody.
commands.
It's on your resume. Hire somebody.
Yep, yep.
But yeah. But so JC, what's on the horizon for for Tech C Media? What's the thing that I know you talked about some of the things about going to universities and things like that. Are there any other areas of growth or areas of access that you're trying to get into with Tech Scene Media, or is it or is there anything that you see in the long run, in the long term, what you're trying to get to?
I think right now, just sort of on a roadmap, I I have the newsletter, I have the website. I think I got a decent digital platform on LinkedIn and whatnot. So the two areas that I know this year I would love to go into is one, sort of expand out of my comfort zone, out of LinkedIn into like Twitter and other platforms and whatnot. I know there are people within the tech community here in Memphis who don't be on LinkedIn. There are
Yeah,
other places, and they may
yeah,
not know about these opportunities that I'm sharing. Uh, Another area that I want to go in is to build a mobile app for texting media. I know that not for some people, if they can get those notifications on their phones, it'd be a lot easier for them. Also,
yeah.
how can I make it more personalized? How can instead you getting over the course of a month 40, 60 events, if you're only interested in 4 or 5 topics, you should only get events on those 4 or 5 topics or whatnot. So I want to have a mobile app that personalized experience just for them. So that's sort of on horizon. Um, how Two things that I want to do, I don't know when. I know that there are some areas of some topics in tech that need to be discussed in Memphis. An example would be we need more AI workshops, not just more talk. We got talks that talk about AI. We need workshops where you come in and you're gonna leave with something. You've done something on your own, hands on the keyboard. So I want to promote a series of talks, a series of workshops that does that right there. And then I would
Okay,
love to have sort of my own conference.
okay,
Okay.
cool.
Well,
I can give you a resource there because I just recently just got accepted approved to host a GitHub Copilot workshop here in Tulsa, and they're doing a series of those. They're doing them all over the globe. So if you have a community that you want to that would give you like teacher resources and swag and all those type things. So I'll send you the link to where you can go and apply where you can go and apply to get approval to do that, and they'll give you everything you need to host that workshop. And so that could be your springboard into the AI workshops.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
You have in the future working with children and technology? You know, that's one of the things that I always wanted to, do more of. And that's what I'm doing. I'm want to do it in a bigger way. But what about yourself here in Memphis?
I don't have any the direct plans at the moment to work with kids. I guess in my mind, it's always been about there's a lot of organizations who doing great things, work with kids, work with young adults, work with people who just got out of prison. All these groups that is helping those communities come go into tech. How can I support those groups? I think ecosystem is important, and we may not need another group help for kids. May need a group supporting the group that helping our kids, and that's where I'm trying trying to get Tech Scene Media at. I could be that partner, if you could say.
Right,
Just one example would be if a group don't have enough mentors or participants, adults leading the kids, how can they help them find that group more participants? Thank
right.
you.
And that's the thing. Um, it takes different pieces. of the puzzle to build that community. And I think the framework that you built, the framework that you've built and are building and is building is a necessary piece of the puzzle. Because like I say, because you don't necessarily have to be the one that's directly doing something for the kids or doing
Right.
or doing something for the disenfranchised or doing something for the transitional prisoner to community. So you have a framework to where you know what, I have this framework. If that's what you're doing, my framework will get you exposure. If that's what you're doing, my framework will connect you to the community you're trying to connect to. My framework will connect you to that you will no longer have 4 people at your events, but if you become part of my framework, then you'll grow from 4 people to 20 people to 50 people to 60 over time. And so yeah, so that's a big piece and a necessary piece, because I think a lot of times, sometimes when we look at things, sometimes we often highlight who's doing the work, who's doing the thing, but without the frameworks, then who's doing the thing? Sometimes they're only exposed to the few people that they're within their network. So that's why frameworks like yours are very, very important.
Thank you. That was a much more better way of saying it than what I said. But yes, that's exactly how I do feel. I seen people with great ideals that don't come through fruition because they don't have the organization behind them or the frameworks. Now I want to do ABC, but I don't know enough people to help me get it done. So how do you
Right,
solve that problem?
right, 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 right. And so I like what you're doing. It actually that's kind of that's in alignment for what our vision is. Because with NotableBIT, the vision is highlighting black technologies, and building that stage and that platform, because the spotlight is not often not shine is not shining on our community, and there are
Right.
people like yourself doing a lot of great things, but not many people see it. And so I applaud you for what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing in the Memphis Tech community. My heart, Memphis will always be my home. I no longer reside there, but there's a strong connection to Memphis because that's where I grew up. I know the
Mhm.
neighborhoods, I know the streets. Anytime I come back to the city, it's like I never left. I don't have to use no GPS and nothing like that. Okay, I know wherever. I know when to go where and when not to go to some places.
I'm kind of like that in Dallas. I lived in Dallas for a little while, so I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, yeah. So it's cool. Do you are there any special things coming up that you want to highlight? In any events that you might want to highlight, or anything that tech scene media needs to highlight is coming up in the near future that you want to talk about here right now?
There, there's 2 events that's coming up in April, and this, and just sort of before I show those events, this is the reason why I doing texting media is that these things pop up really quickly and then they're over with, and if you're not aware of them, you may not get a chance to go to them. I'm a big proponent of hackathons and conferences and whatnot, but mainly hackathon because it's a chance to, one, network with people you may not have would not have crossed path with before. Senior engineers, hiring managers, they come to the hackathon to do something to have fun. But this is your chance to rub shoulders with them and to show them that you can code, that you can build. So hackathon is just wonderful. We have 2 that's coming up that just sort of popped up on my radar. I've got the BDPA is hosting what they're calling a dumb hackathon. Now, it's not dumb as in it's not great. The idea behind it is to allow creatives, but we have a lot of creatives here in Memphis, allow creatives to come and build something fun. Just build something in one weekend that's easy, that's fun, and just enjoy to do. And it doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be trying to compete with everybody else. It's not on no topic, just whatever floats your boat. Come have fun building around other creatives. And I love that idea. And that's happening, I believe on um April 24th.
Okay.
But you go
Yeah.
to the website and find out. But
Yeah, I've heard of
yes,
them
sir.
having their hackathon come up. Who's the other one?
The other one is about Epicenter Memphis. They did this last year. It's called the Innovate Accelerate Hackathon. And last year they chose topics in around energy and city. I'm not sure what this year topics is, but going like this same. But it's another opportunity to go and build something and to win money. But main thing is opportunity to build with other people and get that recognition. So those two events I'm just really excited about. They just sort of popped up, it's happening. And I guess for me, where it used to be like maybe 1 or 2 hackathons a year was a normal, now we're getting 4, 5, 6, and 7 or more a year, which is great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
CodeCrew's hackathon should be coming up on radar soon.
Yes, sir. It should be. And actually, I think
Awesome.
CodeCrew is actually leading the Epicenter Hackathon. It's
Yeah,
at
they partnered
Epicenter
with that
Memphis.
one, and then they have their
Right.
own.
Yes, sir. I know CodeCrew has a one for use every year, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Awesome.
I'm really I know last year we had 2 conferences in the year that I'm hoping come back. One of them was at Lamar on College, Next in Tech conference about cybersecurity, and also the uh,
Is the Black
Black Chamber of
Engineers?
Memphis had the Black Chamber of Memphis. They
Okay.
had a security conference also last year, and I'm hoping that they bring back. So I'm just excited that all the different groups are creating these opportunities for Memphis to learn and grow together.
Awesome. 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 That is awesome. That like I said, the Memphis tech scene has changed a lot. And it looked like it has expanded a lot since I first got in on uh, the Memphis tech scene. You know, back in the day, you had a few developers that was working these different jobs. So now it seems like the tech scene is just growing exponentially, and that pleases me. I'm happy I'm happy to hear that.
There's a lot of momentum right now, and I'm hoping to be part of keeping that momentum growing. If you host the event, I want to try to make sure that it gets visible and people are coming to it. If you want to learn a concept, there are events happening every week that will teach you for free. So I'm hoping to make that accessible to as many Memphians as possible.
We love free.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially we know free is
Yeah.
good, and we
You
try
love
not to
free.
downgrade free.
Right.
You
And
know what else is
opportunities to
good?
win money. Huh?
You want to know what else go with free that's real good? Free food. Do
Food,
y'all
yeah, food.
feed people at these events?
Man, look.
Yes, sir, they do. I think it's part of Memphis culture is have pizza at the event. There's always
Yeah, some type
pizza
of
and
food.
drinks.
Yeah. All you want to
If
go
you
get
feed them, they will come.
Yep, that's it.
go get it. Y'all ain't getting no Little Caesars, is you?
I've seen different places do different pieces.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You know.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, but pizza seem to be the go-to thing. You know, you know, as much as I love pizza, sometimes you can only eat so much pizza.
Right.
Hey, I already know. I used to work for Pizza Hut when I was in college. I already know.
But you know what else go good? See, like I said, the free events, the free food, hackathons where you win money. So
And
I know that's
that's
prizes.
right.
And the
yes,
prizes, because CodeCrew has given away PS5s.
see,
Are they giving away games? Okay.
Yeah. They'll get somebody to sponsor and say, hey, I need you to come in and bring in prize, buy us a prize for like a PS5. And I think one year, whoever did it, they gave CodeCrew 5 of them.
Okay. Man.
oh nice.
JC, before we start. Oh, go ahead. You had something. Go ahead, JC. Go ahead, man.
I just say that the one more thing besides prizes and food that's great for hackathon, it's just the recognition experience of being part of. I
There
did
you
not
go.
get my first job in tech until after I won my first hackathon. That
Oh, really?
was a story. It was a story that I could tell about in an interview. To say, hey, I built this product in this amount of time on this team with this, and tell it in a way that the hiring manager understood, but it got my foot in the door. So a hackathon is a great way to sort of build upon,
Nice.
well, not just say here's a resume, but show that you can actually do it. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
hackathon was for Digital Ocean Hackathon. Me and a friend of mine, we built an app called Help Me. My family has a lot of mental health issues, and I was trying to build something to help my family members who are when they're struggling with mental health. How can they just at a push of the button say help me? Don't say anything else. I'm help me, send a location out.
Hey.
I'm right here. I need help. No question out. No question asked. Come get me.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
just so a hackathon allow you to build something and then talk about it later.
Yep. It
Nice.
seemed like that's the springboard into most people's first job. My first job was I rewrote a game and got my first coding job. And I showed him the guy. It just happened. I had the printout. Well, this is when we used to print the code out. I had my printout with me and the disk with the code on it, and I ran it for him and played the game for him. He was over there chuckling and just amazed. He looked at the code and said, "Hey, when can you start?"
Man,
That's
I'm,
good.
I'm gonna tell you how I got my first gig into a real tech job was something similar. I was a hardware tech, a support tech, because I wanted to be a programmer, but the only job I could get was doing hardware support. And I was working in this manufacturing company, and they had this system, this program. It was written in Fox Pro.
I remember that. Ooh.
Yeah, so somebody wrote it in Fox Pro, and the person who wrote it was no longer was no longer around, and then they wasn't storing data, and I kind of raised my I said, well, I know VB and I can rewrite it for you, and
Yeah.
I rewrote the program, and so and they started using it. That kind of that opened the door for me to get a promotion, get another position. So yeah,
Same.
you have to
Yeah.
do some work to get work.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess it's my turn. So my first job, real coding job was I did a project at the University of Memphis. It was VB as well, right? So I can't remember what the project was, doesn't matter, I guess. And I went to the interview. It was at Hilton, and I interviewed with those guys. I told them I knew how to code. They said, prove it. I went and exported my source code and sent it to them and explained all of the different objects and everything. And they were like, you know what? You're hired. Yeah. 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 So, yeah, you got to do something outside to get in. You got to do
Right.
it. Now, once you get in, you in.
Is
But
that
you
once
got to
you
do
win, you
something
win.
on the outside first.
You do.
Mhm.
You do. So you're right. So you're right. Hackathons are a good way. And so I don't think they had hackathons back when we was coming up. They
No,
didn't have that. We didn't know what hackathons was. That
no.
didn't exist. But yeah, and so hackathons are cool. They're great. I think that's a great. You're right. It's a great way to get in. Yeah, because and nowadays, if you new, they want to know, do you have a GitHub account? Back
Yeah,
then, it wasn't like that back then. But now, if you don't have no GitHub account, you
it's
don't
hard.
exist.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So
Well,
JC, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
a lot of these things that if you're just coming up in tech or you're trying to come back into it, you don't know. And to me, that's one of the big reasons why I try to get people to go to tech events and whatnot. Because
Yeah.
you talk to somebody like you gentlemen, talk to somebody, they can tell you this is what you need to do. But right now, just having a piece of paper is not going to cut it. You have to have more than that. The the barrier to entry is bigger, it's larger. So we need to have them opportunity to
Mhm.
get those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do,
okay.
because my first turn down job is that I didn't have a computer.
That's a that's a good segue. So JC, I wanted to know before we get ready to start wrapping this thing up. Um, all all developers are a little bit different, right? A
Yeah.
little bit different personality. What are you? Are you what I want to know what you are, in your normal day to day. Are you you in front of a computer all day, every day? You trying to code something? Because some people think that developers are like that. Or are you, you know what? I'm with my daughter most of the time. Or, you know, maybe you dating. I don't know. Or maybe you out in the yard gardening or something like that. What else? What goes on with JC?
Yeah.
I would say that I do fit some of those it's a word
Scenarios.
I'm missing here, blanking on, but perspective scenario where I do part start in my day with code. I do love building. I got several different projects that I'm working on right now that I'm trying
Okay.
to code, find time to code and build. You know, such as I recently had a heart attack a couple months ago,
Oh,
and now I'm
Mm.
dealing with those a new life, and I'm trying to build an app to help support me in this new life in the new journey.
okay.
So I am building stuff on the side. Texting media takes a lot of time. But also prior to the heart attack, I was a cycler. I love cycling. So my longest time on the bike was 85 miles.
Ooh,
So
Wow.
just sort of
85 miles.
yes, I love
You sound
long
like a
distance
power
cycling.
cycler.
I don't know about power, but more like just that consistent, just going out on the open road and just having fun, exploring new parts of the city, new parts of the
Wow.
country, and whatnot. So
Okay.
that was me every single week trying to get a minimum of 100 miles or more in. Um, I have two daughters and a grandson. So for me, it's spending a lot of time with them, just taking my grandson to the park, having fun with him. He's the first boy in the family. We have all girls in the family. He's the
Oh,
first
wow.
boy. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
just having fun playing with him and whatnot. So for me, also like I said, I love cycling. I'm an outside type person. So cycling in the summer, hiking in the winter. Memphis has a lot of state parks, a lot of areas you can go. They're in and around Memphis area, state
Yeah.
parks and whatnot. You can go to and hike. So I like getting outside. I love exercising. That came from, as I told you about the regulatory law enforcement role that I was in for 14 years. So after going to the police academy, okay, they gave me this love for exercising and going to the gym. So I try to hit the gym as much as possible, or if not that, just go for long walks. So I'm outside, I'm coding, I'm with my family. I try to go to as many tech events as possible to support the organizers or to support other people. So I'm constantly bouncing around. So that's my day to day, talking to people, supporting people, playing with kids, building apps, and hopefully to get back to cycling on a regular basis.
Man, you're a
Man.
busy man.
Yeah, yeah. Man, I absolutely love the fact how that you take those negatives and spin them into positives. Like you say you had a heart attack, and then so okay, you had a heart attack. You said okay, let me go ahead and build an app that's gonna help me. And so that's so you are a developer at heart. You a true software developer. Because no developers are like that. You know what? Let me build an app for that. Like what's it when
Yeah.
iPhone first came out? There's an app for that.
Yeah,
So
there's the app for that.
you that guy.
We'll build an app for that. Yeah, I was like that too.
But
I
I
found
think that the
something I
best,
needed. I built some software for it.
to me, the best projects come from those that, as you said, necessity come from those that you use daily. Don't just, I'll tell people, don't build no do app. Build something that you need that solves a problem. Because you're going to learn more in the long run.
Yeah.
Right.
You do learn. You learn a lot. Cause that's the cool thing about software. You're forever learning. You're always learning something new. You may be learning a new tech. Even if you're not learning a new tech, you're learning a new way of doing something, a new way of solving a problem. You're always learning something new because every problem has its own solution. Tackling a problem, you don't always come with the solution. Sometimes you're learning the solution. You're building and learning the solution along the way.
Right.
And so with that, JC, I think I can speak for all of us and say that we really been enjoying this time with you and enjoying learning about JC and what JC is doing in the Memphis community, and it makes us be quite proud of what the Memphis tech scene is doing, and it is so awesome to hear that the Memphis tech scene is growing beyond what it's been. So before we wrap it up. let's go ahead. This is your opportunity to you can highlight Memphis Tech Scene. Tell us those that don't know what Memphis Tech Scene is, want to connect with Memphis Tech Scene, they want to connect with JC. Where can we find you? So now you can tell us how to find Memphis Tech Scene. Tell us how to find you. That somebody want to connect with you. Do they send you on LinkedIn? Blah blah blah. So this is your opportunity to do that.
Thank you. The best way to connect with me is on LinkedIn. JC Smiley Jr. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. So if you connect, I will reply back and whatnot. And for the Memphis Tech Scene, there's two ways to plug into. Well, actually three ways. The first way is a newsletter where you get every single week uh, a list of events that's coming up, but also just sort of small editorials about the community and whatnot. So you'll learn about, just try to expose you to more of the Memphis Tech communities. You go to Memphis, you type in Memphis Tech Scene Beehive, and it'll take you to the newsletter. If you want the webpage, it's just type in Memphis Tech Scene into your browser, and it'll pop up memphistechscene.com, and there right there just where the event page is at, event listing site. And also the third way to learn more about Memphis Tech events is just follow me on LinkedIn. I try every single Monday. I post a weekly update. These are all the events that come up this week. Every Friday, I post a Friday wrap. These are all the events that that I have access to, and this is sort of what happened in Memphis. So like a wrap, sort of a wrap in the week. During the week, I'm posting stories about the community. So just sort of example would be this BDPA event. This was the culture like. These pictures images of the event. This is the takeaways and whatnot. So you can learn along with other people, just in case that you could not make the event. I'm also posting event announcements in a little bit broader detail than what the weekly update. So, example, we just had a young lady, can't think of the first name, but that name McKinney. She just did a cloud and AI talk. She works at Oracle here in Memphis. So I did a big announcement for her. Try to make sure many people know about her beyond just a one line about the event. So follow me on LinkedIn. I could keep you plugged into what's going on in Memphis, what's happening, and whatnot.
Awesome. And there you have it. Major Major Randall. Any last words?
Hey man, I appreciate you coming out. Well, not coming out, joining us on the podcast. Man, it's been a pleasure meeting you. You're a great young man, and I'm excited to see what you do in the future.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to networking with you and sharing any events that I know of. I'm kind of one of the go-to people people ask me about events, and I don't mind sharing them up to you. And anything that I create, I don't mind sharing it with you and connecting you with other network people. So we're like I said, we're proud of what you're doing in Memphis. I try to do what I can in Memphis and the surrounding area, and I hope this podcast helps that out. Via Donald. So we all be positive and be notable and be Black together.
All right. Look, there you have it. On JC Smiley. We give him a Memphis Maine round of applause. That might be Orange Mound. Yeah.
No, you don't want to do the Orange Mound.
No, I ain't gonna do the Orange Mound because I'm from Black Haven, so I'm not gonna do Orange Mound. No. That's Major.
I do it.
See, there you go. There you go. So there you have it. So look, listen, Memphis not just on First 48. Memphis is doing tech. And there's a thriving tech scene in Memphis. And so people like to highlight all the bad in Memphis, but there's some good going on in Memphis too. So we appreciate you, JC, for being a part of that community. And we not only being a part of the community, but you are becoming a pillar in a springboard in that community. So we appreciate you for that. So with that, signing out. Stay notable, be notable, and Black in Tech, and exemplify excellence.